The Picts descend from their wilderness onto the exiled lands and bring with them the Pictish Stalker set, a new cultural bundle in Conan's Black Lotus Bazaar. However, is it worth your money? Today, we're going to find out. Firstly, a disclaimer, this set was gifted to me by Funcom. Just like all my other reviews, that will in no way affect my opinions of this set, nor will it affect my recommendation or lack thereof. So without further ado, let's get started. The Pictish Stalker bundle comes in at 2009 Crom coins, meaning the bundle costs about $16.74, so we'll call it 17. The bundle contains the following items: the Pictish Stalker armour, the Pictish Stalker Cudgel, the Pictish Sabretooth Pet Skin, the Pictish Stalker Warpaint, the Prey tracking emote, and 2 emblem icons, a foreground and a background. So let's get the simple stuff out of the way and start with the emblems. The emblem icons are alright. They're not the best they've made, but they're also not the worst. They're pretty good individually, but together I feel like they're missing a little bit of synergy that could have made them a great combo. They work well, but not amazingly so. That being said, both do work quite well with other emblems, so they do have a lot of flexibility on that front. Overall, the emblems are nothing to write home about. Not bad, but they don't mesh together perfectly, at least to my tastes. The Prey tracking emote is a simple, non-looped animation found in the misc section of the emote wheel. It can only be used on the player character and not a thrall, and will cause your character to lean down, examine the ground, sniff the scent of the prey they're tracking, and then stand back up. Pretty simple stuff, definitely something I could see role players use, but I don't think anyone else would have much use of it. It's fine for what it is, but nothing remarkable unfortunately. The Pictish Stalker Warpaint is a decorative warpaint requiring 1 plant fibre, an inking brush and 1 raw ash to make in the dyer's bench. It's a full body paint with extensive patterns on the legs and up past the hips, a V-shaped exclusion on the torso, details on the arms and neck detail that leads up to the face. It is for sure one of the more subtle warpaints. It has a nice level of detail and works well in some parts, but it feels a little too easily missed for me. In my view, if I'm going to wear a warpaint, I want it to be easily identifiable and I really want it to stand out. The patterns and designs are nice, but overall I would have preferred it to be a little bolder. The Pictish Sabretooth Pet Skin is a new skin for, of course, the Sabretooth. It's handcrafted in the inventory with a pet Sabretooth and a sorcerer's pet food, the latter being crafted at an alchemy bench with 1 gruel, 1 yellow lotus blossom and 2 aloe leaves. You can craft this pet skin with either the regular or greater Sabretooth pet. The Sabretooth is honestly a bit disappointing. I think I get what they were going for. It's a Sabretooth with Pictish paint on the fur, but it feels like it's missed the mark for me. Some extra jewellery or some other cultural signifier would have been much better. At a glance, the paint just kinda looks like the Saber's coat. A good comparison is the Yamatai Sabretooth. That beast has markings that are made much easier to see by its lack of fur, but also a Yamatai mask on the face. It's undeniably Yamatai, but the Pictish Saber doesn't exactly scream Pict to me. Overall, I'm a bit disappointed in the Sabretooth. Some may prefer it more subdued and not as over the top as the Yamatai saber, but I'm just not a fan of how understated this is. The Pictish Stalker Cudgel is a one-handed club in regular and epic qualities, with the crafting cost and stats shown on screen. The design of this weapon is rather decorative, with a giant bird head atop various Pictish animal designs and patterns across the length of the club. It's also got quite a bit of colour, which I think adds a nice element of vibrance to the weapon. In total contrast to the Sabretooth we just spoke about, this weapon screams Pictish. It's a really nicely made design and I think it suits the theme of the bundle really well. The Pictish Stalker armour is a medium armour set available in both regular and epic qualities with the crafting costs and stats shown on screen. It doesn't have a set bonus, which is a bit of a shame, but with the illusion system that's not too much of an issue as you can transmog the visuals onto a set with a bonus you actually want. In terms of visuals, this set is great until you get below the waist. The yellow tones of the chaps and the shoes really don't do anything for me, and I think it throws the whole set off. I actually decided to dye these with light brown dye, and I think it's a huge improvement. I appreciate the attempt to add more colour into this armour, but I don't really think the yellow works. The headdress and the red accents have more than enough colour for me. Aside from that, the rest of the armour is great. Really nicely detailed, and I love the headdress. If you're in the same mind as me with the yellow trousers and shoes, dye them brown or light brown and the set improves massively. Overall nicely made, but the very loud bottoms do nothing for me. So far on the bugs front, the only thing I've noticed is that the fur cloak on the Pictish Stalker chest is a bit funky. It's a fairly minor issue, but it seems to hang a bit too far off the back of the character, and it's also a tad stiff, which isn't too bad, but if you do something like the prey tracking emote, the physics behaviour starts to get really weird. That's the only issue I've noticed so far. It's not a huge problem, but it could definitely be annoying if you're so inclined to not be able to unsee those sorts of things. So, all things considered, do I recommend this set? I think the Pictish Stalker bundle does some things well. The standout items, the armour and the cudgel, are pretty nice aside from the colour choice on the bottoms, but if you don't like it you can change that. The rest of this bundle though is a bit hit or miss for me. The emblems, emotes, Warpaint, they're all right but nothing to write home about. The Sabretooth Skin is, I think, a letdown. I wish they would have done more with it. I was interested to see what the devs could do with the Pictish culture as a whole, as it hasn't really had much love over Conan's life cycle, but unfortunately I think the mark has been missed a bit. It's not all bad, there are some good things in this bundle, but for me, it doesn't nail what I'd want to see. The set is reasonably cohesive, but I don't think it properly embodies and best shows the spirit of the Picts. As for the price, well, you probably already know my criticism. $17 is kinda rough for what's here. I personally do not recommend this set. I imagine this could be a set where people might buy one or two parts of it when it's split up, but with the bundle as it is here, I don't think it's worth the money, unfortunately. If you're a huge fan of the Picts, it might be worth it for you. There are other Pictish decorations in the admin panel that I presume are coming at some point soon, so I wouldn't be surprised if whatever bundle that comes in also gets bundled together with this bundle in sort of like a Pictish super set. However, the Pictish Stalker bundle on its own has some good points, but also falls a little flat on some other aspects, and for $17, I can't give it my recommendation. Anyway, that wraps up our Bazaar review for today. Let me know your thoughts on this bundle in the comments below. I think some of you will probably fall into the same camp as me, but I'm always interested in reading what you think. Thank you for watching, and of course, a massive thanks to our wonderful, esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. If you want to see videos early and support the channel directly, consider joining us over on Patreon, link in the description and pinned comment. Take care, and I'll see you soon.